So today's topic is Ajayga's means. Ajayga's system of means include those means which are straight in course. These are straight in course, paravertebral in position, and not accompanied with the corresponding arteries. Almost all the veins are forming neurovascular bundle, vein, artery, and nerve together. But here, this vein is not accompanied by the artery. So this Ajayga system includes the veins which are straight in course, paravertebral in position, that is they are on either side of the, and they are on the side of the vertebral column in position and not accompanied by the corresponding arteries. These veins are provided with valves and drain most of the blood from the back and from thoracic and abdominal walls. So they drain from the back, from the thoracic and abdominal walls. The Ajayga system communicates with the vena cava system in front and with vertebral venous plexus behind. So they are forming a communication between the superior and inferior vena cava in front, vertebral venous plexus behind. The terminal veins of this system are Ajaygas, hemiajaygas, accessory ajaygas. So there are three veins here: Ajaygas, hemiajaygas, accessory ajaygas veins. Now Ajaygas vein. Ajaygas vein means A is equal to not, and Jaygas means double. So it is not double means it is a single vein. It is a single vein arises from the back of the inferior vena cava at or below the renal vein as lumbar Ajaygas vein. So this Ajaygas vein is a single vein arises from the back of the inferior vena cava at or below the renal vein as lumbar Ajaygas vein. This ascends in front of the lumbar vertebra and enters through the aortic opening of the diaphragm opposite the 12th thoracic vertebra. So this is going along with the in front of the lumbar vertebra, along with the lumbar vertebra, and enter the thorax through the aortic opening of the diaphragm opposite the 12th thoracic vertebra. It receives a vein formed by the union of right ascending lumbar vein and right subcostal vein. So the lumbar Ajaygas vein receives a vein formed by the union of right ascending lumbar vein and right subcostal vein. In the thorax, it passes upwards in front of the lower 8 thoracic vertebrae with the posterior mediastinum. So in the thorax, it passes upwards, that is after the aortic opening, it is entering the thorax. In the thorax, it is passing upwards in front of the lower 8 thoracic vertebrae with the posterior mediastinum. So here this figure is particularly to show you that this Ajaygas vein, lumbar Ajaygas vein, is coming from the posterior aspect of the inferior vena cava at or below the level of the renal veins. And then it is joined by the ascending lumbar vein. This is the ascending lumbar vein, and this is the subcostal vein. Here, this one. Subcostal. So here it is more clear. This is the lumbar Ajaygas vein, and this one is the ascending lumbar vein, and then this is the subcostal vein. These two join this lumbar Ajaygas vein, and then they go on into the thorax through the aortic opening. So they are going through the aortic opening into the thorax, and after they entering thorax, they are passing in front of the lower 8 thoracic vertebrae till they reach the 4th thoracic vertebrae, where it is curving forward over the root of the right line. Now this is the superior intercostal vein ending in the arch of Ajaygas vein. Superior intercostal vein, right superior intercostal vein is formed of the 2nd, 3rd and 4th right intercostal veins. Here it is more clear figure. So this is the lumbar azagus vein. This is the ascending lumbar vein. Ascending lumbar vein joined by the subcostal vein. This is the subcostal vein. Then this is going through the aortic opening and by the side of the lower 8 thoracic vertebrae till it reaches the 4th thoracic vertebrae, where it curves anteriorly over the root of the lung to reach the superior vena. And of course here we are showing the right superior intercostal vein formed as the 2nd, 3rd and 4th intercostal veins, and the left superior intercostal vein is formed as the 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Left superior intercostal vein formed as the 2nd, 3rd and 4th veins. Opposite the 4th thoracic vertebra, this azagus vein arches forward above the root of the right lung and ends in superior vena cava just before the superior vena cava pierces the fibrous pericardium. That is just before it enters the heart. It pierces just before it pierces the fibrous pericardium. This superior vena cava is joined by the azagus. Thus, this azagus vein forms a connection between the superior vena cava and inferior vena. Because this azagus vein is starting from the posterior surface of the inferior vena cava at or below the renal veins level, and then it is joining the superior vena cava opposite the 4th thoracic vertebrae after arching and going forward over the lung, making a arch of azagus vein. Then it reaches the superior vena cava just before this superior vena cava pierces the fibrous pericardium. So before it opens into the superior vena cava, sometimes the arch of the vein splits apex of the right lung and lodges in a fissure where it is suspended by mesentery, forming a lobe for azagus vein of right lung. So the apex of the right lung is pierced by the azagus vein before it joining the superior vena cava. So here this azagus vein is having a mesoazagus, that is a part of the peritoneum covering, and then this is dividing the apex of the right lobe into azagus lobe medially and of course apex right lung apex laterally. So this medial lobe we are calling that azagus lobe. Relations. This azagus vein is related in front. So in front of this azagus vein we are having posterior sloping surface of diaphragm. Then esophagus, separated by a rhesus of right pleural sac, fibrous pericardium and root of right lung. So these are on the front of this azagus vein. Then behind, lower 8 thoracic vertebra, their intervertebral disc and longitudinal ligament. So these are forming the posterior relations of the azagus. Right side, greater splanchnic nerve, right lung and pleura. So right side it is greater splanchnic nerve, right lung and pleura. Left side, thoracic duct, descending thoracic aorta, right edge of the esophagus, trachea, right vagus nerve. These structures are caused by the arch of azagus. So it is arching over the right lung. So it is related to the so many structures like thoracic duct, descending thoracic aorta, right edge of the esophagus, trachea and right vagus nerve. Then tributaries of the azagus vein. The first one is the posterior intercostal veins, the right side except the first vein. So all the posterior intercostal veins of the right side are joining the azagus vein except the first vein, which is joining directly the superior. The 2nd, 3rd and 4th intercostal veins unite to form the right superior intercostal vein, which ends in the arch of azagus vein. So the 2nd, 3rd and 4th intercostal veins unite to form the right superior intercostal vein, which ends in arch of azagus vein. Rest of the intercostal veins end separately in the azagus vein. Venous trunk formed by the union of the right subcostal and right ascending lumbar veins. This is also one of the tributaries. Venous trunk formed by the union of the right subcostal and right ascending lumbar veins. It may be the first tributary when azagus vein arises as lumbar azagus vein. So tributaries is posterior intercostal veins of the right side except the first vein. This is it. So here the first vein is almost joining the superior interval, and second, third, and fourth forming the right superior intercostal veins. They are joining the right vein, and fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th all are joining directly the azagas vein. And now superior intercostal vein. Okay, rest of the interventions separately. The venous trunk formed by the union of the right subcostal and right ascending lumbar vein. It may be the first tributary when the azagas vein arises of lumbar azagas vein. Next, ascending lumbar veins. The ascending lumbar veins originate from the common iliac vein and establish connections between the common iliac and iliolumbar and lumbar veins. The first and second lumbar veins end in ascending lumbar vein. The third, fourth lumbar veins open to the posterior aspect of the inferior vena cava. The ascending lumbar veins ascend behind the psoas muscle and in front of the lumbar vertebra. Upward, they join the subcostal veins. Turning medially, they join the azagas vein on the right side, hemiazagas vein on left side. So, this ascending lumbar veins. So, this is the ascending lumbar vein, this is the left side and this is the right side. They are joined by the subcostal veins. There is the subcostal vein and also this is subcostal vein, and then they are joining the lumbar azagas vein. Lumbar azagas vein here. On the right side, it is joining the lumbar azagas vein. On left side, it is joining the hemiazagas vein. This is the hemiazagas vein. And left side, this ascending lumbar vein along with the subcostal vein joining the hemiazagas vein. Whereas on right side, it is joining the azagas vein. So these ascending lumbar veins are originating from the common iliac veins. So here this is the common iliac vein where this ascending lumbar veins are originating, and they are joined by the lumbar veins, the first and second lumbar veins. They establish connection between the common iliac, iliolumbar and lumbar veins. So common iliac, iliolumbar and lumbar veins. The first and second lumbar veins end the ascending lumbar vein, and the third, fourth lumbar veins open into the posterior aspect of the inferior vena cava. Okay. Now they ascend behind the psoas muscle and in front of the lumbar vertebra. Upward, they join the subcostal veins. Turning medially, so after joining the subcostal veins, the ascending lumbar veins turn medially. They join the azagas vein on the right side and hemiazagas vein on the left side. Azagas vein on the right side and hemiazagas vein on the left side. Here it's the same thing. This part is the hemiazagas. Now from left side, the left superior intercostal vein via the accessory azagas vein from the upper part of the upper part up to the seventh intercostal veins, and hemiazagas vein from the lower part join the azagas vein at T7 and T8 after crossing the midline horizontally. So from the left side, the upper left superior intercostal vein, which is formed of the second, third and fourth posterior intercostal veins. Then the fifth, sixth, seventh posterior or sometimes eighth posterior intercostal veins join this accessory hemiazagas vein, and they go horizontally to join the azagas vein. So the hemiazagas vein is coming from lower down after the ascending lumbar veins, then the subcostal vein, then it is joined by the 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th intercostal veins. Then it is joining at the level of the 8th intercostal space, the azagas vein. Similarly, the accessory azagas vein, accessory hemiazagas vein is joined by the second, third and fourth intercostal veins, which is called left superior intercostal vein, and then the fifth, sixth, seventh or sometimes eighth intercostal veins and it is joining at the level of the seventh intercostal vein, the azagas vein. So in obstruction of the superior vena cava, this left superior intercostal vein draining into the accessory azagas and azagas vein form an alternate route for the venous drainage of the left side of the chest. The hemiazagas vein. It usually begins by the union of the left ascending lumbar and left subcostal vein. The hemiazagas vein enters the thorax by piercing the left crus, receives the lower 3 or 4 intercostal veins and ends in azagas vein opposite the 8th thoracic vertebra. So hemiazagas vein is entering the azagas vein opposite the 8th thoracic vertebra, whereas accessory azagas vein is entering opposite the 7th thoracic vertebra, entering the azagas vein opposite the 7th thoracic vertebra. The accessory azagas vein, it begins as a continuation of the left 4th intercostal vein and receives blood from the left 5th, 6th and 7th intercostal veins as it descends. Finally, it terminates into azagas vein opposite the 7th thoracic vertebra. This accessory azagas vein may communicate above with the left superior intercostal veins and below with the hemiazagas vein. So it may communicate with the left superior intercostal vein and also the left hemiazagas vein. Development. Azagas vein develop from two sources. Lower vertical part developed from the azagas venous line and arch of the azagas vein developed from the persistent cephalic part of the right posterior cardinal vein. In obstruction of the superior vena cava, azagas vein maintains the collateral circulation by conveying blood to the right atrium through the azagas vein itself is conveying the blood to the right atrium. So in obstruction of the superior vena cava, the azagas vein maintains collateral blood circulation by conveying blood to the right atrium. Now applied anatomy. Azagas vein abnormalities can be suggested on chest radiograph by enlargement of azagas shadow to greater than 1 cm. So azagas vein shadow, if it is enlarged more than 1 cm, we feel that there is some abnormality in azagas. False positive can occur in heart failure, causing increased pressure on the right side of the heart or adjacent lymphatic. So in case of some heart diseases, heart failure, there can be a chance that the right side of the heart is increased in size and the lymphadenopathy can also mimic the enlargement of the azagas. Azagas and hemiazagas continuation of the inferior vena cava was not common in daily. So azagas and hemiazagas continuation of the inferior vena was not common. It is very hard to observe, particularly when it is not associated with congenital heart disease or deep venous thrombosis. Laceration. Laceration or ruptures of azagas vein may occur in blunt trauma to the thorax as a result of motor vehicle accident or a fall from the height. Rupture of the vein usually occurs at its arch, just proximal to the point where it joins the superior vena cava. So there is a chance of rupture or laceration of the azagas vein when a blunt trauma is occurring to the thorax as a result of motor vehicle accident. So in such case, or as a fall from the height. In such cases, rupture of the azagas vein usually occurs at its arch. So the azagas arch is more prone for injury, and that too just proximal to point where it joins the superior vena cava. That is at the junction of the superior vena cava and azagas arch, the weak point where it is going to lacerate in case of a trauma, blunt trauma to the chest, either by motor vehicle accident or by a fall from height. Damage to the vein can result in hemothorax, a collection of blood in the pleural space, which is usually detected by an X-ray. So if this laceration or rupture of azagas vein occurs, it may lead to hemothorax, that is the collection of the blood in the thorax, a collection of blood in the pleural space, which is usually detected by an X-ray. If this occurs, A thoracotomy is usually indicated, which involves an incision to the chest wall to allow drainage of the blood within the pleural space. So, if you find this laceration of esophagus vein and pneumothorax, it is a must for a thoracotomy wherein the incision is given into the chest wall to allow this blood to drain out. Aneurysm. Aneurysm of esophagus vein is very rare and usually causes no symptoms. They are usually detected on chest X-ray as an abnormal mediastinal mass. So, if there is an aneurysm of esophagus vein, which is very rare and which is asymptomatic, and this can be detected on chest X-ray as abnormal mediastinal mass. They can occur as a result of inferior vena cava obstruction, portal hypertension, and congestive cardiac failure. So, this aneurysm of esophagus veins can occur as a result of obstruction in the inferior vena cava, portal hypertension, and then congestive heart failure. So, these are all the causes that may lead to the aneurysm of the esophagus vein. Surgical intervention is indicated when there is a risk of rupture or pulmonary embolism. So, when there is a risk of rupture of this aneurysm or a pulmonary embolism, surgical intervention is needed to correct this aneurysm of the esophagus vein. Then congenital defects. Rarely, hepatic portion of the inferior vena cava does not form during embryonic development. As a result, the inferior vena cava continues as esophagus vein. So, inferior vena cava, as it comes up in the thorax, it is going through the liver. So, this part, hepatic part of the inferior vena cava, if it is not developed due to during embryonic life, this results in inferior vena cava continuing as esophagus vein. This is referred to as esophagus continuation of the inferior vena cava and absence of hepatic segment of inferior vena cava with esophagus continuation. So, the hepatic segment of the inferior vena cava, if it is absent, the inferior vena cava will continue along with the esophagus vein, and thus the lower part of the blood collected in the lower part of the body is evacuated to the right atrium. To compensate for this congenital abnormality, esophagus vein dilate in order to accommodate for increased blood flow. So, if the inferior vena cava is not there, that whole of the blood that has to pass through the inferior vena cava is passing through the esophagus vein, so it is dilated, and this dilated esophagus vein will be allowing the blood to go into the superior vena cava. It occurs in 0.3% of the population and is associated with congenital heart disease or asplenia syndromes with an absence or normal spleen function. So, in congenital heart disease or in asplenia syndrome, this absence of the hepatic part of the inferior vena cava can occur, wherein the esophagus vein will play the part of the inferior vena cava and drain the blood from the lower part of the body into the superior vena cava. So, we'll repeat again. So, esophagus system includes those veins which are straight in course, paravertebral in position, and not accompanied with the corresponding artery. These veins are provided with valves and drain most of the blood from the back and from the thoracic and abdominal walls. The esophagus system communicates with the vena cava system in front and with vertebral venous plexus behind. The terminal veins of these veins are esophagus, hemiesophagus, and accessory esophagus. So, esophagus means a single, it is not double. The single vein arises from the back of the inferior vena cava at or below the renal vein as lumbar esophagus vein. This ascends in front of the lumbar vertebra and enters thorax through the aortic opening of the diaphragm opposite to the 12th thoracic vertebra. It receives a vein from the vein formed by the union of the right ascending lumbar vein and right subcostal vein. In the thorax, it passes upwards in front of the lower 8th thoracic vertebra in the posterior mediastinum. So here we are showing the lumbar ajagas vein originating in the posterior aspect of the inferior vena cava at or below the level of the renal veins. And then this one, this is the lumbar ajagas vena. It is joined by the ascending lumbar vein, which is also joined by the subcostal vein, and then this ascending lumbar vein along with the subcostal vein is going to join the lumbar ajagas vein, forming the ajagas vein. And then we are having the right superior intercostal veins, which is formed of the second, third, and fourth intercostal veins and joining the arch of ajagas vein. And the left superior intercostal vein formed of the second, third, and fourth intercostal veins, and it is joining the accessory ajagas vein. Then accessory ajagas vein at the level of the seventh thoracic vertebra, it is going to join the ajagas vein horizontally. So here the accessory ajagas vein is joining the ajagas vein horizontally, whereas the hemiajagas vein coming from lower down, that is, it is formed by the ascending lumbar vein and then the subcostal vein joining the hemiajagas vein. Hemiajagas vein also collects the blood from the 9th, 10th, 11th intercostal spaces. Then at the level of the 8th thoracic vertebra, it is joining horizontally with the ajagas vein. Opposite 4th thoracic vertebra, it arches forward above the root of the right lung and ends in superior vena cava just before the superior vena cava appears as the fibrous pericardium. So the ajagas vein that is coming from lower down, passing through the aortic opening and passing in front of the lower 8 thoracic vertebrae. Then after reaching the 4th thoracic vertebrae, it is arching forward above the right lung root and ends in the superior vena cava just before the superior vena cava appears as the fibrous pericardium. Thus it forms a connection between the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, as it is coming directly from the posterior aspect of the inferior vena cava at or below the level of the renal veins, and then it is joining the superior vena cava just before it pierces the pericardium. Before it opens into superior vena cava, sometimes the arch of the splits the apex of the right lung and lodges in a fissure where it is suspended by mesentery, forming the lobe for ajagas vein, the right lung, ajagas vein of the right lung. So the apex of the right lung is split into ajagas lobe and the apex of the right lung by the ajagas vein passing through the a part of the apex of the right lung, and then it is having suspended by mesoajagas, that is a part of the peritoneum. Then relations. The ajagas vein is related in front by sloping surface of the diaphragm, esophagus separated by a recess of the right pleural sac, fibrous pericardium and root of the right lung. Behind lower 8th thoracic vertebrae, there is intervertebral disc and longitudinal ligament. Right side, greater splanchnic nerve, right lung, left side, thoracic duct, descending thoracic aorta, right edge of the esophagus, trachea, right vagus nerve. These structures are crossed by the arch of ajagas vein. So it is crossing so much. So we are having the relations with so many structures: the thoracic duct, descending thoracic aorta, right edge of the esophagus, trachea, right vagus. Tributes of the ajagas vein. Posterior intercostal veins of the right side, except the first vein. Second, third, and fourth intercostal veins unite to form the right superior intercostal vein, which ends in arch of ajagas vein. Rest of the intercostal veins end separately in the ajagas vein. Venous trunk formed by the union of the right subcostal and right ascending lumbar veins. It may be the first tributary when ajagas vein arises as lumbar ajagas vein. Ascending lumbar veins. The ascending lumbar veins originate from the common iliac veins and establish connection between the common iliac, iliolumbar, and lumbar veins. The first and second lumbar veins ends in ascending lumbar vein. Third, fourth lumbar veins open into the posterior aspect of the inferior vena cava. They ascend behind the ascending lumbar veins, ascend behind the psoas muscle in front of the lumbar vertebra. Upward, they join the subcostal vein. Turning medially, they join the ajagas vein on the right side and the ajagas vein on the left side. So here we have the lumbar vein and the subcostal vein is the lumbar ajagas vein. Then way till the fourth space. Then there it is arching forward over the root of the right lung to join the superior vena cava before it pierces the pericardium. So this one of the right lung. From the left side, the left superior intercostal vein via accessory azagus vein from the upper part up to the 7th intercostal vein and hemiazagus vein from the lower part join the azagus vein at 7th and 8th after crossing the midline horizontally. So here the upper part is joined by the accessory hemiazagus vein, which is in the left superior intercostal vein as tributaries, and then 5th, 6th, 7th intercostal vein join this accessory hemiazagus vein. Then they join horizontally till it reaches the azagus vein in 7th intercostal. Whereas from lower side, this is the ascending lumbar vein. This is coming up, joined by the subcostal vein, joined by the 9th, 10th, 11th intercostal space veins, post intercostal veins. And then at the 8th intercostal space, it is joining the horizontally joining the azagus vein. In obstruction of superior vena cava, this left superior intercostal vein draining into the accessory azagus vein and azagus vein from an alternate route for venous drainage of the left side of the chest. The hemiazagus vein usually begins by the union of the left ascending lumbar and left subcostal vein. The hemiazagus vein enters the thorax by piercing the left crux, receives lower 3 or 4 intercostal veins, and ends in azagus vein opposite the 8th thoracic vertebra. The accessory azagus vein begins as a continuation of the left 4th intercostal vein and receives blood from the left 5th, 6th, and 7th intercostal veins as it descends. Finally, it terminates in azagus vein opposite 7th thoracic vertebra. Accessory vein may communicate above with the left superior intercostal vein, below with hemiazagus vein. Azagus vein develops from two sources. Lower vertical part develops from the azagus venous line, and arch of azagus develops from the persistent cephalic part of the right posterior cardinal vein. In obstruction of the superior vena cava, azagus vein maintains collateral circulation by conveying blood to the right atrium. So, in applied anatomy, the abnormal azagus vein abnormalities can be suggested on chest X-ray by enlargement of the azagus shadow more than 1 centimeter. False positive can occur in heart failure and right lymphadenopathy on right side. Azagus and hemiazagus continuation of the inferior vena cava was not common in daily life. It is very hard to observe, particularly when it is not associated with congenital heart disease or deep venous trauma. Laceration. Laceration of the azagus vein can occur in blunt trauma due to motor vehicle accident or fall from the height. The trauma can occur at the arch of azagus vein where it joins the superior vena cava. Damage to this vein results in hemothorax, which needs a thoracotomy and drainage. Aneurysm. Aneurysm of azagus vein is very rare and usually causes no symptoms, and this is detected on chest X-ray. They may occur as a result of inferior vena cava obstruction, portal hypertension, and congestive heart failure. Of course, surgical intervention is needed when there is a symptom or risk of rupture or pulmonary embolism. Congenital defect. Rarely, the hepatic portion of inferior vena cava does not form during embryonic development. As a result, inferior vena cava continues as azagus vein. That means, if the inferior vena cava of the hepatic portion is not developed, the azagus vein has to drain all the blood from the lower part of the body into the superior vein. So, in this case, the azagus vein is dilated in order to accommodate this increased blood flow. It occurs in 0.3% of population and is associated with congenital heart disease or sometimes with asplenic syndrome. It is asplenic syndrome. Function of spleen is absent. Thank you. Stop.